I find myself a lot of times, especially talking to young people, emphasizing that we need a new paradigm, kind of like we talked about here. So we need a new paradigm, not just within the church, but we need a new global paradigm for how to interact and what's proper behavior and what's improper behavior. And if we keep doing status quo stuff, you saw the graphs, right? We're headed in bad direction. So we need really fundamental changes in the way we do agriculture, in the way we do transportation, in the way we build buildings, in the way we have cities, pick any of the above and find a place where you can make your contributions to a new paradigm. And it actually can be quite exciting when you get into some of these new ways of living and new ways of thinking. My daughter just bought a tiny house. That's a new paradigm for sure, right? And she's all about living with as little as possible because she's really worried about the future. And I love that. I absolutely love it. Maybe I won't love it when we go visit her. But, I love that. Signs, prophetic signs, that we don't have to keep doing things the same way. We can figure out new ways to do things so that we aren't such a scourge on the planet. So
for this one, it helps to refer to the Belgic Confession. And there's an Article 2 in there, which is titled, "The Means by Which We Know God." We know God by two means, it says. First, by the creation, preservation, and government of the universe, since that universe is before our eyes like a beautiful book, in which all creatures, great and small, are as letters to make us ponder the invisible things of God. Beautiful and poetic. The second way is that God makes himself known to us more clearly by his holy and divine word, as much as we need in this life for God's glory and for our salvation. But I always like to think that it's the first one that tells us we know God by knowing the creation. So when we spoil the creation, we actually diminish our knowledge of the Creator and our ways to know the Creator. I have a list of 5 things that I tell students that they need to be really careful about, or let me say it differently, ways that you can make a big impact. So right now, David said you're not procreating right now. That's true. But you know what else you're not doing right now is you're probably living in your own house. You're not probably driving a new car, whatever. So here are some decisions that you can make in the very short order. A couple of years from now, you're going to make all these decisions. And I'm going to suggest that you buy the smallest house that you can think you can live in. Buy the smallest car you think you can survive in. You live as close as possible to work, school for your kids, church, and the grocery store. You fly as little as possible, and you eat as close as possible to the base of the food chain. Now, of those 5 things, only one students can do right now, and that is eat close to the base of the food chain. So choose less meat, and if you're going to choose less meat, if you have to eat meat, eat poultry instead of beef. I'm seeing head shaking back there. No, that's not me. Okay, if that's not you, then fine. Then buy a small house. Okay? I got a nod there. Love it. Love it. We're on the same wavelength. No, I mean, those are 5 things that you can do, practical things that you can do in your life that will reduce your carbon footprint. There's an old saying that I think is attributed to Abraham Lincoln, but it goes something like, we are not called to be successful, we are called to be faithful. And it's true, and this is something that maybe some of the students here will resonate with as well. It's something that I resonate with. That is that no one individual in this room, if they do the tiny house, if they do the native plantings, if they do the electric vehicle or whatever, it's not going to solve the problem. The problem is way too big. But that's something to lament first. Just sit down and cry that you can't solve the problem. That's okay. But then you say, all right, I still need to be faithful. And what does that look like? Where I am, find something that you're good at. Do that in the direction of trying to be more sustainable, and just be faithful.